some of the kind of politics we played in the past has also led to the situation we have found ourselves, in addition to what everybody is saying. If you listen to...
invariably, the APC government should not blame anybody, they should blame themselves.
They should blame themselves.
In the first place, they were the architect of this kind of narrative for political reasons.
And we are not
now they did not do enough to correct the situation fast enough when they started. Because this started a few weeks ago, and there are those Nigerians who are unfortunately fueling this. And I mean, anybody may be aggrieved, but the fact remains that when you stand against your own country, you are digging.
That's something else.
But
the debate was started in the Congress when? September 5. I have the bill here. September 5. Nigeria is not aware that the conversation is going on. Come on.
Is it the failure of the Ministry of Interior?
It is not. It is this.
The external affairs, or foreign affairs, or the presidency, or do we need a special department of reputation management for a government?
It's not about reputation. It's about the reality of what is going on in your country. How other people are framing what is going on in your country is one thing. The reality of what is going on, the people of Nigeria that are being killed, that is a different...
Abdullah, thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you, my friend.
Can you summarize for us the position of the ADC with respect to what Donald Trump said about Nigeria and the possibility, according to him, that the Department of War should be ready to come into Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much. The position of ADC, we've made that clear yesterday. We see this as primarily a matter of security. Are people being killed in Nigeria? Regardless of how it is framed, has the security situation in Nigeria gotten a lot worse under this administration or not? So the primary question we should be asking ourselves is whether more people are dying in this country today than before this administration came on board. That is the first one. The second one is, has this government demonstrated the willingness or the inclination to stem the tide of wanton killing that has happened? Whether it's Christian or Muslim or whoever. That's the second level question. Now, quite significantly, is the issue of framing. How are we framing what is going on in Nigeria? How is the world interpreting what is going on in Nigeria? And who are the people framing the narrative of what is going on in Nigeria? So we say that. I listened to one of your guests. Was it the Governor Wiki, the Minister of FCT, saying that what is going on is the handwork of the opposition. I mean, quite ironically, I will agree with him, but it's not our opposition. It is the opposition that is now in government. Because if you follow what has been going on, I'm glad that people are bringing it up. In 2014, the sitting president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, actually said that the slaughtering of Christian worshippers, not the slaughtering of worshippers, not the slaughtering of Nigerians. He said specifically, the slaughtering of Christian worshippers is strongly condemnable. You see, it's about framing. So they were the first to begin to introduce this religious dimension to the problem of insecurity in Nigeria, hoping that they could use it to whip up the American sentiment, to take action against President Goodluck Jonathan. So it's a classic case of the chicken coming home to roost. It was the ditch, the big ditch that they buried President Jonathan's presidency in, that they could not feel that is catching up with them. So they should not tell us that, because we listen to all kind of...
Your own, description, for you, it's karma.
It's karma. You can call it karma.
That's how you see it.
Yeah, it's karma. But I don't want us to lose sight of what is most significant here, which is the question of human lives being lost every day in Nigeria. and which this government has proven incapable of dealing with. But the worst tragedy, I may say, is not just that people are dying the way they are dying, even that is tragic enough, is that this government has refused to accept that situation is worse under them than ever before. Because for you to be able to solve a problem, you have to acknowledge that the problem exists. And the problem that exists in this country today, the fundamental problem that exists in this country today, is a wanton killing of Nigerians. Now, let's go back to the question of how this is being framed as Christian genocide. This narrative didn't start today. I have here a report. I will leave it with you. This is a report from the United States Department of State, Nigeria 2023 International Religious Freedom Report. I've read this report, and it copiously documented cases of attacks and killing in Nigeria. And it framed largely, the victims were framed as Christians, not as Nigerians, in this report. Now, what I find quite striking about this was that the report says U.S. Embassy and Consulate General representatives and visiting U.S. government representatives raised religious freedom issues with government officials throughout the year. So the government ought to be aware that the Americans are interpreting the security situation in Nigeria from a religious lens.
To what extent? Because there are misgivings. I mean, naturally, from a different political prism that you are standing different from this government, and you can see the situation differently. But the conversation here, the truth that we need to tell ourselves, and that those of us who believe that the U.S. president is not particularly very polite in his use of language, and he doesn't respect other people. It's called Nigeria a now disgraced country. I disagree totally with that kind of statement. Absolutely. And as a Nigerian, I take an exception to those kind of... Just for a moment, sir. And when he said in his first time, the way he described Africa and some part of this world as a word that we can use on television here, I mean, those are impolite words of a leader of an advanced world on painting the rest of the world. But we need to introspect as a people, either in the opposition or in the ruling party, to ask ourselves the stark reality and the truth. That really, and it's interesting that you are from Kwara. Kwara recently started bearing the brunt of some kind of insurgency described as banditry. Is it true that one would describe this kind of thing as a genocide, either on a people or in a particular faith?
No. It's not. It's difficult.
Is it correct?
It is not correct. Absolutely.
So there is no genocide on any faith in Nigeria?
There is no... I cannot say there is evidence of genocide. And from what we have seen, we cannot describe what is going on as genocide, right? But the point I'm making, and I apologize to say that, you are also missing the point. The question here is not about how the Americans are framing it, right? The question is that people are being killed in Nigeria, and we had opportunity to engage, to let the Americans know that there's no genocide going on in Nigeria, and there's no genocide going on along religious line in Nigeria. But we did not take that opportunity. I just told you here, a 2023 report released in 2024 by U.S. State Department, and they said they've engaged with Nigerians. Somebody in government ought to have seen this and trigger something and say, we must engage the Americans to let them know that they are misreading what is going on in Nigeria. And I'm saying that some of the kind of politics we played in the past has also led to the situation we have found ourselves, in addition to what everybody is saying. If you listen to...
invariably, the APC government should not blame anybody, they should blame themselves.
They should blame themselves.
In the first place, they were the architect of this kind of narrative for political reasons.
And we are not
now they did not do enough to correct the situation fast enough when this started. Because this started a few weeks ago, and there are those Nigerians who are unfortunately fueling these. And I mean, anybody may be aggrieved, but the fact remains that when you stand against your own country, you are digging.
That's something else.
But
the debate was started in the Congress when? September 5. I have the bill here. September 5. Nigeria is not aware that the conversation is going on. Come on.
Is it the failure of the Ministry of Interior?
It is not. It is this.
The external affairs, or foreign affairs, or the presidency, or do we need a special department of reputation management for a government?
It's not about reputation. It's about the reality of what is going on in your country. How other people are framing what is going on in your country is one thing. The reality of what is going on, the people of Nigeria that are being killed, that is a different thing.
Either Christian or Muslim. It's a fact.
And I listen to people saying, oh, no, it's actually Muslims that have been, more Muslims have been killed. Seriously? So it does not matter. I heard Governor Wike saying that his father was a Christian, the president's wife was a Christian, and nobody is accusing this government of persecuting Christians.
Or religious bigotry.
So they are missing the point. And that is usually the case. They miss the point because they think any form of criticism is an attack on them. They don't listen. And they have demonstrated historical incompetence. So, you see, the Yorubas call some people amunibuni. I don't know how to translate it in English. I mean, they are
literally. You're saying that someone who makes others to insult you or to embarrass you.
To embarrass you.
So that's the kind of government
we have. That's the kind of government we have. You see, for us,
could that be a good portrayal or a fair representation of this government?
We believe so because, like I was trying to say, for us, we are not seeing it as political opportunism, unlike them, right? We feel embarrassed as Nigerians that outsiders are framing our security challenge along these lines that can only further divide us. Because we refuse to protect our own people, because the government refuses to do what it should do. We don't want anybody to come into Nigeria to fix our problem.
Malam Abdullah, you have you've been at the very highest. You played at the very highest level in governance in this country. You play at the local level, you being a minister, and you understand what it takes to have a diplomatic conversation. But in all of this, do you see an international playbook of a leader that is a typical bully and is ready to trample on a smaller country? Do you see that kind of playbook playing out?
You see, even the question you are asking me brings us to another sorry situation. When did Nigeria become this small country that anybody think they can kick around? I read the reaction of Chad to what is going on. Chad is saying he's closing his borders against Nigeria because the terrorists can come. Nigeria used to be the guarantor of security in the West Africa region. Other West African countries look up to us for leadership, for democratization. When did we become this whiny, smally, complaining, whining country? When did we become? It is this administration that reduced us to that. Because, like I repeatedly said, if we had somebody in Washington, D.C., that is representing and articulating what Nigeria stands for, what Nigeria represents, and what is truly going on in Nigeria, perhaps we'll have advantage.
Invariably, our failure, or the failure of this government to appoint ambassadors, is also an issue.
It contributes to it. It contributes to it largely because when people discuss your country, who is in the room? Who is in the room? But I'm saying that this report by the Americans said they approached the Nigerian government and told them that this is their concern, that Christians are being killed in Nigeria. Did Nigeria government make effort to correct this erroneous notion about Christian genocide in Nigeria? They didn't.
But I'm asking this question because any student of international relations and student of history, we know that the playbook that I'm referring to, whenever that kind of playbook is being activated, and you see the manner in which a president who declared another president and the leader of another nation wanted. How bizarre can that be? And you are aware also, can it be in the manner in which other leaders have been meted in the White House at the Oval Office and being treated shabbily? But I'm worried as to the fact that how a country can recover when a bigger nation tramples on them. And the case of Somalia is there. The case of Egypt is there. The case of Libya is there. We see it's not as easy. And the fact that, yes, there might be errors, there might be mistakes. The Tinubu government may have made a mistake. But could we also see a playbook being activated in the case of Nigeria for political or for some international diplomatic reasons?
It's possible. If we want, all kind of conspiracy theories have been flying around in the last couple of days, but I don't see how we benefit from that. Can we control how America behaves? The answer is no. Can we control how American president behaves? The answer is no. What we can control is what happens within the territory of Nigeria. What the Nigerian president does, what the Nigerian government does, how we react to the slaughter of our citizens, even if it is one person. But if you carry on...
So you're not satisfied in the handling of the security situation?
Who is satisfied? You just mentioned Kwara, a whole village sacked. A whole village sacked. Kwara, you and I come from Kwara. Kwara used to be the safe haven in this country.
It's called the state of harmony.
The state of harmony. A whole village is sacked. There is one terrorist group that now announced that is operating for the first time in Nigeria. In Kwara State, they used to operate in the Sahel. And Kwara State is the gateway to the south. Can't you see what is coming? So if we prove incapable of understanding the enormity of the crisis that we face as a country, and other people use that opportunity to kick us around, we should look for balm and Robbie and face what matters.
What do you think the leader of a country like Nigeria should be doing if you get are you satisfied in the manner in which this government has tackled or handled the situation since it happened?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They were busy trying to deny that government has a hand in, or there is any form of Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. As if once you are able to convince Trump that there is no Christian genocide going on in Nigeria, then everything is fine. That is the impression you get from what they are saying, right? Then you go beyond that, you begin to hear actually this security situation has endangered more Muslims. So where is this situation that we face requires one thing. First, humility from the government. To acknowledge that whatever we have done in the last 2 years appears not to be working. Regardless, we want Americans to understand, we are going to solve our problem, and for Nigerian government to bend down and do the real work of protecting Nigerians. When you prove capable of protecting your own people, whether they are Christians or Muslims or animists, nobody is going to come out to say, if you can't fix your problem, we'll fix it for you. If you can't protect your own people, we'll come and do it for you, because we recognize some people as belonging to us, because we worship the same way, so we're coming to fix it for you. Because you fail to do what you should do.
Who is afraid of Donald Trump? What is the implication of that statement? Coming gun a-blazing. Is it a happy statement? Does it make the government jittery or the people jittery, or what exactly? What should we be afraid of? Should we have anything to be afraid of?
With due respect, and it's just Trump being Trump, right? I mean, from what I've read and what I've heard and all that, it's just Trump being Trump. But the embarrassment is enough. The mere fact that the president of another country can talk down on our country that way, can say this, that if you can't fix your own problem, if you can't protect your own people, we are coming gun a-blazing to protect them for you. Forget about the framing as if there are some global religious community or diaspora religious community that is trying to protect. That's not the issue, right? Okay, I read the report. I read the report that maybe next week, President Bola Tinubu will appoint ambassadors. I read it somewhere. I don't know how far it's true. But Shehu, even if we appoint the ambassadors today, now in the context of what is going on, the Americans will vet and scrutinize whoever we send to the US up to his or her bone marrow. Maybe by the time they are done with that in January, February, then we'll now wait for opportunity for that ambassador nominee to have opportunity to present his letter of credence to the United States government. What we do in Nigeria, we don't do one ambassador. We do 4 or 5 of them at the same time. So maybe they give us till May or June and all that. So by then we are in electionary mode. So we've lost the opportunity. That's the point we are making. There are things we ought to have done, that this government ought to have done in the last 2 years. They don't do it because they don't get it. They don't get it. And they are doubling down on their incompetence.
All right.